Until G2 phase, cells have already replicated their DNA. So, they have 2 copies of their genetic material. However, the DNA is still in a condensed form, and the cells need to unwind it to make it accessible for repair. Additionally, the cells need to ensure that there are no errors or damage in the DNA before they proceed with cell division. And that is done by the checkpoint. But what if damage is detected? Well, this is where the DNA damage response comes in. DNA damage response, or DDR for short, is a set of signaling pathways for the detection and repair of DNA damage, so that the cells can function normally. Now, the minimal machinery of a DNA damage checkpoint involves sensors that detect DNA damage, transducers that are usually protein kinases that produces a biochemical signal as a result of the detected damage, and effectors that include both protein kinases and transcriptional activators that coordinate repair pathways to block cell cycle progression and repair the damage. Now, the very first step in the mechanism of DNA damage response is the detection of DNA damage by the sensors. Well, cells have specialized proteins or sensors that recognize these types of damage and activate the DNA damage response. Damage to DNA that occurs naturally can result from metabolic or hydrolytic processes. Metabolism releases compounds that damage DNA, including reactive oxygen species, reactive nitrogen species, reactive carbonyl species, lipid peroxidation products, and alkylating agents. While hydrolysis cleaves chemical bonds in DNA. Now, the DNA damage response depends upon the type of DNA damage. There are several types of DNA damage. Some of them include single-strand breaks, which occur when one of the 2 strands of DNA is broken, while the other remains intact. Double-strand breaks that occur when both strands of DNA are broken. Base mismatches. These occur when there is a mismatch between the nucleotides that make up the DNA sequence. These occur if the replication machinery inserts the wrong nucleotide opposite a template base, leading to base substitutions. If left unrepaired, base mismatches can lead to mutations, which can result in diseases such as cancer and chemical modifications. These occur when chemicals, or reactive oxygen species, or ROS for short, modify the DNA molecule, altering its structure or function. 2 key protein kinases. Ataxia-telangiectasia mutated, or ATM for short, and ataxia-telangiectasia and Rad9 related, or ATR for short, lie at the head of the pathway and may also act as sensors of DNA damage. Do note here that some DNA damage does not require the recruitment of ATR and ATM. It is only difficult and extensive damage that requires ATR and ATM. Now, let's see how ATM is activated. mRN complex, or MRE11, RAD50, and BS1 complex, recognizes and binds to the double-strand breaks, or DSBs. Then, it recruits the ATM to the site of damage. Once recruited to the site of DNA damage, ATM undergoes autophosphorylation at several sites, which promotes its activation and allows it to bind to its substrates. Now, when it comes to ATR, or ataxia-telangiectasia and RAD3 related, it is activated in response to damages, such as nucleotide damage, stalled replication forks, and single-strand breaks, or SSBs. These type of damages are recognized by the proteins, such as ATRIP, or ATR interacting protein, and TOP-BP1, or topoisomerase II binding protein 1. Then, they recruit the ATR to the site of damage. Upon binding to ATR, ATRIP recruits additional cofactors, such as RAD9, RAD1, and HUS1, which amplify the ATR signal and promote ATR activation. Once recruited to the site of DNA damage, ATR undergoes autophosphorylation, which is thought to stabilize its interaction with DNA and its substrates. So, do note here that ATR is activated by single-strand breaks, while ATM is activated by double-strand breaks. Now, the second step is the activation of transducers. Sensors activate the transducers, which include both protein kinases and transcriptional activators. So, ATM and ATR bind to DNA-damaged sites and activate two transducer kinases, checkpoint kinase 1, or CHK1 for short, and checkpoint kinase 2, or CHK2 for short, as well as a transcription factor called P53, which is also a tumor suppressor gene. Once activated by DNA damage, ATR phosphorylates and activates the checkpoint kinase 1, and ATM phosphorylates and activates the checkpoint kinase 2. Together, these proteins make up the DNA damage response system. Now, next, these transducers act on effectors. Transducers phosphorylate downstream effector proteins, like CDC25 phosphatases. Normally, CDC25 phosphatase helps to activate other proteins, called CDK2 and CDK1, which are important for cell division. However, when DNA damage occurs, checkpoint kinases 1 and 2 can add phosphate groups to CDC25 phosphatase, which inhibits its activity. When CDC25 phosphatase is inhibited, it can no longer activate CDK2 and CDK1. This leads to cell cycle arrest, which means the cells stop dividing and focus on repairing the DNA damage instead. In particular, cells arrest in either G1 and S phase or G2 phase, depending on which checkpoint is activated by the DNA damage. Inhibition of CDK2 results in cell cycle arrest in G1 and S phase, while inhibition of CDK1 results in cell cycle arrest in G2 phase. In mammalian cells, arrest at DNA damage checkpoints is also mediated by the action of an additional protein, known as p53, which is phosphorylated by both ATM and CHK2. p53 primarily acts at the G1 checkpoint. At this checkpoint, p53 blocks cell cycle progression, preventing the cell from moving into the S phase. This gives the cell time to repair the DNA damage before it replicates. If the DNA damage is too severe to be repaired, p53 can trigger cell death, a process called apoptosis. Alternatively, p53 can induce permanent cell cycle arrest, which is also known as senescence. In addition to regulating cell cycle progression and apoptosis, p53 can also activate certain DNA repair pathways, such as the nucleotide excision repair (NR) pathway. This helps to ensure that the DNA damage is repaired before the cell continues to divide. So, that's how cells respond to DNA damage, by using sensors, transducers, and effectors. Now, for a quick revision, let me briefly summarize the important events in a DNA damage response. If a DNA damage occurs, DNA damage sensors, like ATM and ATR, detect the damage. Then, the damage signal is amplified through activation of downstream kinases, such as checkpoint kinase 1 and checkpoint kinase 2, and transcriptional activator, like p53. This causes activation of checkpoint pathways, like G1S, G2M, to halt cell cycle progression and allow for DNA repair. So, DNA repair mechanisms are activated. Now, if DNA is successfully repaired, cell cycle resumes. But if DNA is not repaired, cell undergoes apoptosis, or cellular senescence, to prevent propagation of damaged DNA. Note that there can be many variations and additional factors in the DNA damage response pathway, depending on the type and extent of the damage, as well as the specific cell type and organism. So, that was about G2 phase and DNA damage response. We will be discussing the apoptosis and DNA repair mechanism in the upcoming videos. So, keep an eye While you wait for the video, be sure to check out our extensive collection of highly informative videos. Only on sqadia.com.
Watch our medical videos anytime and anywhere. Download sqadia.com app now.